David Dayen wrote a piece recently. He thinks that the Democrats are going to come to regret their votes on the debt ceiling, i.e., more specifically, remember, the debt ceiling legislation passed with a majority of Democrats. In other words, more votes came from the Democrats for this legislation than the Republicans. But I remind you that it was the Republicans holding the Democrats hostage on this. And if anything, it's a failure of the Democrats to curb their votes. But many of them voted for this. And I can tell you what happened with Obamacare. In the passage of Obamacare, the expansion of Medicaid, they cut back on Medicare Advantage. And the way they cut back on Medicare Advantage was said, like, you're overbilling us. And so we're going to cut back your reimbursement rates by 20%. That was used on the campaign trail in 2014 against Democrats running. Not death panels, not government takeover of healthcare. You cut Medicare. I would be surprised if we do not see some of those some Democrats being attacked for voting for stuff that cut funding to discretionary programs by Republicans. Is that cynical? Yes, that's what they do. But in the meantime, there are also folks on the far right who are, well, on the right, who are mad at other people on the right. Again, there's not a huge distinction here. I made this argument about the Tea Party. It's just Coke and Pepsi, same industry. But Marjorie Taylor Greene has, associated herself with Kevin McCarthy because she's, wants to. She picked a winning horse, I guess, to get to her own, accumulate her power.
Yeah.
And here she is at a town hall, constituents, trying to explain her vote.
I could have done the politically easiest thing in the world. Easiest thing in the world was for me to say, I'm not voting for this. You know what I could have done? I could have played politics. I could have said, no, I'm not voting for this. I could have attacked leadership. I could have tweeted about it. I could have done interviews. And then I could have sent all of you a bunch of fundraising emails. I could have done that. But I didn't. You know what I did? I got together with Thomas Massey and Jim Jordan. I said, guys, I want to do what you're going to do because I trust both of you. You guys are the two strongest conservatives. You've been here longer than me. Thomas, I trust you. You have a good plan, and I really want to try it out. I want to see something new in Washington. So I chose to do the difficult thing. I did. You want to know how I did that? I did that because I like to sleep at night. I did that because I've been a mom. I've raised 3 kids. And it's not always easy. You don't tell your children yes all the time. As a matter of fact, it's important to say no. I did it because I know how to run a company and make hard decisions for your company.
Who's the child in this scenario?
That's right.
Who's the child that she's saying no to?
Like Andy Biggs or Matt Gaetz or
her constituents,
yes.
or the people.
Majority Report Taylor Greene says, Sam, our Republican voters going to revolt over the debt ceiling deal that McCarthy brokered because he violated the firmly held and sacrosanct Hastert Rule. Just kidding. Now explain the Hastert Rule to your audience. The Hastert Rule was imposed by Denny Hastert, former Speaker of the House, Republican Speaker of the House. Also, I believe he served time for child molestation as a wrestling coach. Now, to be fair, that happened before he was Speaker of the House. No. The molestation happened before he was Speaker of the House. He ended up, I think, serving time or getting sued for it after being Speaker of the House. They knew during that time Tom DeLay was very interested in having a speaker that he could control back in the day. It's so weird how much they talk about pedophilia, the Republicans.
I mean, Jim Jordan learned from the best, I guess.
Exactly.
Wrestling coach.
And but the bottom line is the Hastert Rule was you're not going to pass any legislation or introduce any legislation that will not pass with a majority of Republican votes. for a while that was used as an excuse as to why they couldn't do X, Y, or Z. And then when it became sort of convenient not to do that, they didn't. But here is Steve Bannon, former Trump advisor, on his take on the
debt ceiling vote.
And I will tell you, you will not hear him make this call when we are 6 months out from the election. I can assure you of that, or 8 months out, or a year out.
Republican Party, those 149 who voted for it, who all have to be primary. Let me repeat that. All of them, including people we're quite fond of, and some who we used to be fond of, have to be primary. You know why? They have to stand on the debate stage when the primary season, and they have to justify what they did with the knowledge they had at the time of what went on, and then what the impact is, because the impact during primary season is going to be a lot worse than it is today. Okay?
Okay. But no one's going to give a crap.
It'll
But
be whatever Trump's talking about.
yeah,
Exactly.
I do think that Marjorie Taylor Greene bringing up fundraising was an interesting thing. I wrote that
she's
down.
criticizing Boebert.
No,
I mean,
she said
everything
I
she
could
did.
have sent out right. I know, but she's in a jockeying position with her for who can be the better grassroots fundraising right-wing squad lady.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I think that she made a deal with McCarthy, and we don't know the extent. I mean, I don't think that
Definitely.
we know, but we don't know the extent of the deal as it relates to like when she will or will not deploy her grassroots fundraising apparatus, which is depressing as hell, but she's a top fundraiser for them.